Maya was 10 years old, the first time she realized that a place could look beautiful and still feel unwelcoming. The day her mother finally unlocked the door to their new apartment, sunlight poured through wide windows, bouncing off freshly painted walls. Her mother laughed, a sound full of relief and hope, and said this was a new beginning. A better neighborhood, better schools, a better future. Maya smiled for her mother, but something inside her tightened. The city outside was louder here, faster. Cars rushed by like they were late for something important. People walked with purpose, their heads held high, their clothes crisp and unfamiliar. Maya suddenly felt small, like she had stepped into a picture she didn't belong in. That morning, before her first day at Oakwood Academy, Maya sat on the edge of her bed while her mother carefully braided her hair. Each braid was neat and precise, fingers moving with love and patience. It took hours, but her mother never complained. She said Maya's hair was her crown, and crowns deserved time. When they were finished, Maya studied her reflection. Her skin was deep brown, smooth like polished wood. Her eyes were wide and thoughtful. The braids framed her face perfectly. She looked like herself. But for reasons she couldn't yet explain, she wondered if that would be a problem. Oakwood Academy was enormous. Long hallways echoed with laughter and conversation. Lockers lined the walls like endless metal mirrors, reflecting faces that didn't look like hers. As Maya walked behind her teacher on that first day, the sound of her shoes tapping against the floor felt louder than it should have been, as if every step announced her arrival. When she entered the classroom, the noise died instantly. Conversations paused mid-sentence. Heads turned. 20 pairs of eyes scanned her from head to toe. Her dark skin, her colorful African print backpack, her braids. Maya felt heat rise in her chest. She moved toward an empty desk in the back, trying to disappear into the polished wood and white walls. That's when a boy's voice cut through the silence, sharp and careless. "Did she get lost on the way to the city?" Laughter followed. Not loud laughter. The kind that pretends to be harmless. The kind that still hurts. Maya kept her eyes down. She traced a small crack in the desk with her finger, pretending not to hear. The teacher cleared her throat and began the lesson. But the damage had already been done. Something inside Maya cracked too. Days turned into weeks. Maya learned the layout of the school, but she never learned where she fit. In the cafeteria, she carried her lunch tray like it was something fragile. She always sat at the end of the bench, where no one had to scoot over to make room for her. Around her, girls talked about summer trips to beaches with white sand and blue water. They talked about sleepovers and hair appointments at salons Maya had never seen. They laughed freely, loudly, without checking who was listening. Maya didn't join in. She ate quietly and pulled out her notebook. Drawing was the only place she felt safe. In her sketches, faces looked like hers. Skin came in deep browns and warm golds. Hair coiled and curled freely. On paper, no one stared. No one whispered. In class, she became invisible. Teachers praised her work, but never said her name with excitement. Classmates borrowed pencils from her, but never invited her to sit closer. Sometimes she wondered if she was fading, becoming a shadow no one would ever really see. One afternoon, in art class, the teacher announced a new project. Each student was to paint their true self. The room buzzed with excitement. Paint trays clinked. Brushes swirled in water. Maya felt a quiet thrill. This was her language. She reached for the darkest colors without hesitation. Deep browns, rich blacks, shades that reminded her of soil after rain and the sky just before dawn. Slowly, carefully, she painted a girl standing beneath a vast night sky filled with stars. The girl's skin blended into the darkness, not to disappear, but to belong. She was powerful, grounded, calm. Maya leaned back, a small smile forming. For the first time in weeks, she felt seen. By herself. That's when someone stopped beside her desk. "Why is it so dark?" a girl asked, her tone sharp with judgment. Her name was Sarah, a girl with light hair and a voice that carried easily across rooms. "It's ugly." Before Maya could respond, Sarah's elbow tipped forward. A cup of bright yellow paint spilled across the canvas. The color streaked down the painted girl's face like a wound. Gasps echoed around the room. Someone laughed nervously. Sarah muttered, "Oops," without apology. Maya stared at the painting. The yellow didn't belong. It burned against the darkness, loud and unwanted. Her throat tightened. Her hands trembled. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She quietly gathered her things and walked out. That night, Maya stood alone in the bathroom. She turned on the sink and soaked a washcloth in hot water. She pressed it against her skin and scrubbed harder and harder, as if she could erase herself, as if blending in was something she could force. Her mother knocked on the door, concerned, but Maya said she was fine. She wasn't ready to explain the ache in her chest or the shame she didn't understand. Later that week, Maya's grandmother came to visit. Nana Rose had a way of filling rooms without saying much. Her back was slightly bent with age, her face lined with stories, but her eyes were bright and knowing. She found Maya sitting quietly on the porch, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the evening sky. Nana sat beside her without asking questions. After a moment, she spoke softly. "Why do you think people are afraid of the night?" she asked. Maya shrugged. "Because it's dark." Nana smiled gently. "The night is not empty, child. It's full. That's when the stars show up. That's when the universe speaks in whispers." She turned to Maya and lifted her chin so their eyes met. "People see your skin and they think of the night. They don't understand it. They don't know its power." Nana took Maya's hands, her grip warm and steady. "Your skin carries history. It carries survival. It carries kings and queens who walked before you. You are not too dark. You are deep. You are rich. You are whole." Maya felt tears spill down her cheeks, quiet but unstoppable. "Don't you ever try to wash away your glory," Nana said firmly. "The world already has enough people trying to dim their own light." Something shifted in Maya that night. The pain didn't vanish, but it softened. She began to see herself through her grandmother's eyes, not as a problem to solve, but as a story worth telling. When the annual school showcase was announced, Maya didn't sign up right away. She watched other students prepare piano pieces and dance routines. Her heart pounded every time she imagined standing on stage. But one evening, she opened her notebook and began to write. She wrote about wanting to disappear, about wanting to be lighter, quieter, easier. She wrote about her ancestors, about hands that worked the land, and hearts that endured storms. She wrote about the night, and the stars, and the beauty of being unseen until you choose to rise. On the night of the showcase, the auditorium buzzed with excitement. Parents filled the seats. Teachers whispered backstage. When Maya's name was called, a hush fell over the room. She walked to the microphone, her hands steady, her braids catching the light. She took a breath. "I used to want to be a cloud," she began. "White and light and easy to look through. I thought that if I could just fade enough, no one would point at me." The room was silent. "But then I realized," she continued, her voice growing stronger, "clouds float because something else holds them up. I am the soil. I am the roots. I am the ground that carries everything." She spoke of melanin as a gift, not a flaw. She spoke of strength woven into curls and rhythm in her stride. She spoke of being hurt and healing and choosing herself. As she finished, the applause came slowly at first, then all at once, rising like a wave. Maya stepped off the stage, different than she had walked onto it. The next day, the hallways looked the same, but she didn't. Some students nodded at her. Some avoided her gaze. The whispers didn't disappear completely, but they didn't reach as deep. Because Maya knew something now. She knew her worth. And once you carry that kind of truth, no one can take it from you. To every girl watching, remember this. Your skin is not a burden. It is a canvas of gold and midnight. Walk proudly. The world will learn to read you.